How about that? Alrighty, give yourselves a great big round of applause.
Hi, my name is Arminta Williams, and I would like to share with you a song that the Lord have inspired me with. It's called Jesus is Right There. Mm, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh. Have you ever been lonely? No one to talk to. Do you ever think about when you were down and out? Ooh, and you didn't have a single friend. All your hopes and dreams were fading away. Everyone you loved went the other way. No comfort, no friend, no hope, no one to love. Everything you had was gone. You didn't know where help was coming from. It's time you realize Jesus was right there all the time. hmm He would never, never leave you or forsake you. Always right there. Through sickness, through trials, through heartaches and pain. He's there to lead you in the right way. Yeah. All you have to do is cry out, Jesus, and He reach out and touch your heart. He'd wash your tears away. He'd make you feel like new. Brand new. Wonderful Jesus. All you had to do was cry out, Jesus. And He'd wash your tears away. He'd make you feel like new. Try Jesus, try Jesus. He's the only way. Try Jesus, try Jesus. He's the only way. Try Jesus, try Jesus. You see, He washed all my tears away. Yeah. Try Jesus, try Jesus. He's the only way. Try Jesus, try Jesus. He's the only way. He washed all my tears away. Ooh, try Jesus, try Jesus, try Jesus. He's the only way. Try Jesus, try Jesus. Washed all my tears away. Try Jesus, try Jesus.
Did you enjoy that? Wonderful. Arminta Williams. Wonderful. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay. See, in another life I was a singer. It wasn't too bad it wasn't this one, right? So, as I am not a singer, I know what my God's gift, my talent is, so I'm going to keep speaking, okay? We left off on chapter 5 talking about ISBN and copyright. I didn't show you a copy of what your copyright registration looks like, did I? I hear that the ISBNs were like anywhere from $500 to $700 to get one now. Yeah, well, they weren't when I started, so now I have a ton of them. So see me if you need ISBN numbers. This is what your certificate of registration will look like for your book or your novel or whatever you have. just so you have, and that's what libraryofcongress.org. Okay. Chapter 6 talks about choosing a graphic designer. Trust me, you do not want to design your book cover if you do not have expertise in that area. I tried it. You can imagine what my first book looked like. I have a trouble drawing a stick man, so you can imagine. So I got Elijah Israel, my spiritual Hebrew brother from GCI. He was there, and now he's gone on to have his own business, Israel Communications, graphics and communications, and he designed the first book and the revision and Inspirational Conversations, my second book as well, and he'll be doing the third book. As you can see, these are different variations. So choosing a graphic designer is a must. Do not skimp in a graphic designer. You can be cheap in a lot of things, but don't be cheap when it comes to your book, because your book is a representation of who? You. Chapter 7, we talk about choosing a publishing house versus choosing a printer. You are the publisher as a self-publisher, so this is where you got to do your homework. I have a list of printers that you can choose from. Actually, I have a young man that I just met recently in Chicago who has a printing facility right downtown on Michigan Avenue. I didn't even know it, a brother. And he showed up at one of the seminars, so I'm going to be recommending people to him as well, okay? Chapter 9, how much will it cost? This is the big question. Guess what? Guess how much it will cost? It can cost as little as $100 or as much as $100,000. You determine. All of that is determined by what? The size of the book. Do you want a little pocket book like this? Or do you want something bigger, like one of those manuals? You know, you can get something like the one that Yoki did on the Grant book. This has no spine. This is very hard to do for book stores because when you place it, there's nothing to read. So bookstores, I don't know. I'm not sure about this, but anyway, I'm sure they're there. I just don't know where they are. Anyway, it's very important that you have a spine. You see the size of this book? It needs to have a spine so you can read it, so people can read it. You know, when you go to the bookstore, you should read that. This is 300. This is what? 300. This is Inspirational Conversations, 365 Days of Empowerment. So you can see it's very thick because there's 365 pages. Most people don't start off with 365 pages. I'm a writer, been writing since the age of 4, so I get a little carried away. My first book was 268 pages. But you can start with, I've seen a book with 20 pages in it. I've seen a book with 50 pages in it. I've seen a book with 100 pages in it. So that is determined, the cost of the book is determined by the color. The more color, the more you pay. The size of the book, whether it's laminated or it's flat. They'll send you a proof out. And this is what a proof looks like. This is the Passion Principles. This is the first book. And as you can see, you have to proof it. That's why it's called a proof. So you have to read it and send it back. If there are any problems, you need to send it back. They'll also send you, Michael, this is where I need you. If you could walk around to the other side of the stage. You need to proof the cover of your book. This is the cover, front and back. And so they'll send you a cover right there, right here. Hand me that, please. And the one beneath it, too. Right there, yep. This is my first book, The Passion Prince. So when they send you that, you got to be sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay? And thank you very much. This is the second book, and you can give me this one right here. Yep. And then you can have a seat. Let's give Michael a great big round of applause. Thank you, Michael. We got our own Michael Jackson right here in Chicago. How about that? And this is what the other one. See how this is matte? This is not glossy. And you see how this is glossy? Do you see the difference? Okay, so these are things you need to pay attention to. Everything that looks a little better costs a little more. Just keep that in mind. This is what I did to Kinko's because I wanted something done right away. So I had to have something to show people. It's like I'm working on my book. So I got a spine, and of course I couldn't give it to the library because it's too small. It has no spine, okay? Alrighty, so that is determined. When you go to a website and they ask you the size of the book, how many pages, all that determined. So you can go back and change it back and forth until you get to a price that you can afford. Number 9, section 9 talks about marketing and promotions, creative visualization. Marketing and promotions is everything. You have the best book in the world and nobody not know about it. So what good does it have? If you didn't have it. I mean, you're using God's gifts and talents, but you want to be able to profit from that talent, right? Creative visualization. There's a book called by Shakti Gawan called Creative Visualization. You need to see in your mind's eye if you want where you want your book to be, on what bookshelf. If you're doing seminars, you're doing book signings. These are things that you need to sit down and contemplate. Go within and spend some quiet time on how you want your book to circulate and how you want it to be seen in the public. Is that good? Okay. Alrighty, and that is the end of that. That's chapters 1 through 10. I want to close out with something very special I think you can appreciate. It's the sheet that says the top 10 reasons why you won't self-publish. Do you have that? Good, then I'll read to you. And then you can get one before you leave. Number 1, the committee. You know who the committee is? The committee will tell you that you can't do it. You know who the committee is? I'll read the committee to you in a few minutes. Number 2, the committee will tell you that you can't afford it. The committee will tell you that you don't have what it takes. Number 4, the committee will tell you that you're not worthy. Number 4, the committee will tell you you don't need to publish a book. Number 6, the committee reminds you that it's your friend, so believe it. Number 7, the committee does not want to see you happy. The committee does not want you to be successful. The committee is cousin to the ants. You know what ants are, A-N-T-S? Automatic negative thoughts. I give credit to Felipe Matthews for that. And the committee is always right, so never think that the committee will steer you wrong. As I close, reading to you from my second book, Inspirational Conversations, which is heard daily at 10:45 on V103, read by Troy Tyler. Have you met the committee that lives inside you? Do you recognize them when they show up? Sometimes we forget, and guess what? They keep coming back until we do. Now, see, I think it's very important that we name these people. Fear, F-E-A-R, is the main one who keeps getting in the way. And he won't disappear until you acknowledge his presence. You know what fear is, right? False evidence appearing real. He shows up at the most inappropriate times, trying to convince of something other than the truth. Sadness is usually cleverly disguised as anger, whose sole purpose is to keep us in a state of confusion. These cousins work by the dozens. Pain appears to remind us that there's an imbalance somewhere in our lives, whether it's personal or professional. Faith, the chairman of the board, is often overlooked because nobody recognizes her until we're in a time of crisis, right? She'll help us work our way out of a mess when no one else will. And Joy. Oh, yes, Miss Joy. Always right on time. Call her sometime and leave a message to the other committee members that you're not available for their pity party because Miss Joy is on her way. Enjoy your day. Inspirational Conversations with Zelda Robinson. That's my alter ego, my business name. And I think it's very important that you empower yourself every single day. Get up with the word of God, the word of whatever you call it, Yahweh, Allah, Buddha, whatever you call it. It's important that you empower yourself. And this is one of the Power Pack tools that I also offer you today. Thank you so much for coming out. I hope you've learned something. Have you learned anything today? Yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I look forward to seeing all of your books in all of the stores. If you have any questions, you got my phone number. Call me, email me. It's best to email me, though, okay? Thank you so much for coming out. God bless you. Thank you. Stay seated. One.